Hello, everyone. My name is Vaishnavi Nashte, and I'm the Marketing and PR Manager here at 31 Media. Welcome to the 31 Media podcast. Today, we'll be talking to Sivaprasad Pillai, who's the Director of the QE Hub that is designed to provide operational excellence across their client portfolio. He has over 17 years of experience in the industry and has led multiple million-pound transformation initiatives for renowned organizations such as Experian, Harrods, and more. With years of experience in test delivery management, program test management, and quality assurance, he is passionate to drive quality driven delivery across transformation initiatives. Welcome to the podcast, Shiva. How are you?
Good, thank you. And thank you very much for the opportunity, Vaishnavi. It's my pleasure to be part of 31 Media podcast and talk about some of the common topics that of shared interest. So thank you for the opportunity.
No worries. We are very grateful to have you on the podcast. I know you are also attending the conference that's coming up next week. So I'm curious, like, what are you most excited about this year's National Software Testing Conference?
Interesting question. So National Testing Conference, which is going to be next week. So it's really going to be a good platform from my perspective. If we look at the overall attendees list, over 300 plus leaders joining across the board, and then a number of participants from the industry coming in to share their insight and everything. So I see that as a wonderful networking opportunity to talk to the leaders, to gain more understanding about their experience and share understanding on how we can shape up the quality engineering and software testing future within the UK.
Yeah.
Um, Look at the agenda, you see quite a lot of good expert talks and keynote, and I would like to see a lot of valuable insight coming out from that, and that's really going to help us to move forward collectively. Um,
Hmm.
I think there are over 50 different talks and presentations
Yeah.
arranged over there. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that's going to give us a lot of good information around the trend and the best practices, the tools, and the benchmark every team has used in delivering software
Hmm.
testing across different organizations. And it's going to be a wonderful education session for me, and I'm keenly looking forward to take away a lot of insight from that, and that's going to help me to shape up the quality improvements in the projects and programs we are taking up as an organization.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the agenda is looking amazing. And we've got so many workshops aligned as well, so that even after the speaking sessions, people do get an insight on how they can actually implement whatever they've learned. So yeah, quite exciting. And you've mentioned previously that you've been in retail as well. So I'm curious, what are your views on the emerging trends in retail application testing and how are they currently reshaping the industry?
Um, I have over a decade of experience in retail, and I've seen that getting transformed from the original brick and mortar shopping experience to the e-commerce experience in the 2010 and onwards, and the
Yeah,
recent mobile commerce, the dominance of mobile commerce in the industry.
yeah,
All of these actually presented with a lot of challenges and opportunity for software testing, and a number of them which I wanted to call out. A lot of a lot of hype going on the omni-channel testing right now, because as a customer, I have moved on from my in-store experience alone. I'd like to see a seamless user experience when it comes to shopping. I wanted to do a shopping online on web or a app or even on in-store. When I do that, I
hmm,
like to see the data integrated
yeah,
from all the channels in one go, and then have a real-time experience to shape up my overall shopping experience. So
yeah,
that presents us with quite a few challenges in terms of integration or the overall architecture. That would mean a lot of opportunity for testing team to test and prove the integration, test and prove the data consistency, and make sure that the data which is coming down all these channels support all the after sales initiatives or all the different different elements they wanted to deliver as part of the solution. Now,
Yeah.
the second point is personalization. And
Mm-hmm.
the generalized view of how shopping works has changed. And as a customer, I'd like to see how the personalized recommendations are coming on my way. And that
Mm-hmm.
is often driven by the data we collect from many forms. We look at the gender, we look at their age, we look at the region where they're shopping from, what are their shopping interests. And from that data, we derive insights and provide specific personalized experience to the user that
Yeah.
comes in as product recommendation, suggestive selling, and everything. And that not limited in one particular channel. You may see that in the web page or in the mobile app,
Mm-hmm.
or when you shop in store on the point of sale system, you may see that recommendation. And that is specific against the user segments, and it's quite
Mm-hmm.
a lot of testing has to be done over there to prove that the right level of recommendations are put forward against the user segment. So that another thing which is definitely interesting for software testing. Another point of view is localization.
Yeah.
I've seen many organizations putting together a global solution for an omnichannel rollout, and then they tend to localize it for different regions and different countries where they operate. Now, when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to that kind of an approach, obviously that a lot of time saving and cost savings are involved in that one, and I'm totally in alignment with that particular approach. But when it comes to testing, that will present us a lot of new opportunities. We have to look at the
Yeah.
local, we have to look at the language, content, the date, or the time format, and obviously, the cultural sentiment, and most importantly, regulatory compliance. All
Mm-hmm.
of these have to be specifically tested to prove that the global solution what put forward is actually fit for purpose in that particular country with all the complaints checks are passed and everything. That interestingly, a lot of testing to be done over there, and that is
Mm-hmm.
gaining a lot of momentum. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Finally, VR IoT devices coming into play. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Again, connecting with the personalization, that's going to give us a lot of opportunity for us to kind of, integrate that with the existing devices or shopping experience within the landscape, and that's going to give us the users a
Mm-hmm.
lot more from their shopping experience. So that has to go through rigorous testing to make sure that the security of the data, the compliance of transaction, such as compliance to PCI or
Yeah.
GDPR, all of those are taken care in the right fashion. So all of these present us with quite a lot of opportunity for us to test it and prove it
Mm.
with the right level of solution rolled out to the customer.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the one thing that you mentioned about personalization, I feel like as and how the technology is evolving, as consumers, we want everything to be super
Yeah,
personalized, especially like in real time with what we discover on Amazon or on Spotify, etc. So, like, do you think this has added like a lot more responsibility to testers as well now?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay. And then what role do you think customer feedback plays in continuous improvement of retail applications, and how can it effectively incorporate like into the entire testing process?
Retail industry is the best one where customers have direct say, and
Hmm.
most of the interaction with the customers are happening better than any other industry if you look at it, right? So,
Yeah.
in my point of view, when I look at the customer base, I look at it from two different perspectives. For different channels, for example, web or mobile app is most of the end users who's actually using the relevant solution. And when it comes to in-store solution like point of sale, there are the internal customers like store colleagues who are taking care of the
Mhm.
sales and all the other additional transaction activities in the store. So they are also our customers. Now, when we look at getting their feedback, in my experience, that's going to give us a wonderful set of insight on how we really want to test the solution or how we want to align the solution to get the right level of user experience. So
Yeah.
the first one to say user experience optimization. the continuous set of feedbacks or information you gather from the reviews, feedback, or the app reviews in App Store or
Yeah.
Google Play Store. All of those additional to that, if you're going down to the store, have a store visit, have a continuous conversation with the store associate, you're going to gain a lot of insight and pain points on what is the customer behavior is on the solution and what
Mm-hmm.
are the dissatisfaction or experience issue they're facing over there. And
Mm-hmm.
that definitely going to help us in optimizing the user experience for them. The
Mm-hmm.
second thing is market trends. When you talk to an end customer, you really understand what the market trend is all about or what is the evolving customer need we want to pay more attention to. And based on
Yeah.
that, obviously, you have to shape up the release structure or the project delivery structure to make sure
Mm-hmm.
we are prioritizing the need of the customer. So that where,
Yeah.
as a third point, prioritization of the feature come into picture. So we have given a
Mm-hmm.
solution or an app or a web page to the customer. We have seen their feedback, what is that they need the most. Based on
Mm-hmm.
that, you prioritize that and put that into a plan so they will get the best thing as a next release or a sequence of releases for them.
Yeah.
And finally, a lot of bug identification. The
Mm-hmm.
internal team do as much as possible to test the solution and deliver that in the right fashion. And
Yeah.
obviously, I always go with the zero defect delivery approach to
Mm-hmm.
to the solution testing when it comes to the internal testing. But you never know, right? There are certain real life scenarios or some edge case scenarios which only happen in production or in live environment where a customer will come across that, and your continuous conversations and feedback collection from the customers are really going to play out well in terms of identifying some of those issues.
Yeah.
Now, how can we actually put it into practice when it comes to the testing strategy? Number one is, make sure that you have a continuous feedback loop enabled throughout the project delivery. So I would be
Mm-hmm.
interested to identify a set of users, internal users, and show colleagues into picture right from
Mm-hmm.
the early stages of the project, involve them in the journey. So you keep on collecting the feedback
Yeah.
and then making sure that those interesting feedbacks are taken into consideration and use some sort of systematic mechanism to analyze the feedback, identify the pattern of what is actually causing more trouble, or
Mm-hmm.
what is that they are more worried about, and then use that to kind of derive your testing accordingly.
Yeah.
The third point is obviously beta testing. At a lot of organizations take care of that nowadays. Form a group of internal users to perform thorough beta testing activities and take all the
Mm-hmm.
insights from that particular test suite and get that into action so that we will eliminate as much as issues possible.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, optimization of your testing suite. So you can
Yeah.
look at the customer feedback, create test cases that point out to the exact feedback from the customer or derive or modify your test set to ensure that you're giving values to the real world scenarios and how to
Mm-hmm.
mimic those scenarios, etc. into that. And that would be kind of, next level of critical thinking what the testers normally apply on
Mm-hmm.
their journey so that, you are actually de-risking that overall solution as much as possible prior to
Yeah.
rolling out to the customer base.
Yeah. No, that's such a good insight because no matter what sector you're in, if it's like product or service itself, I think listening to the customer plays like such an
Yeah,
important role and saves so much time and money with all of your investments. But thank you for that insight. And
no.
I'm also curious, like, obviously AI has always been like the elephant in the room now, and majority of the people out there, they're like either nervous about it or they don't know how exactly to approach it or integrate that into their strategy. So, like, should software testers specifically be worried about AI? And what are the challenges and opportunities ahead for this?
Um, that's the most interesting question we come across as
Yeah.
leaders in the industry, quite often from our colleagues. Um, you know, generative AI, prompt engineering, and AI technologies are there on the market, and we know that it's there to stay forever. And it's really going to actually change the game quite a lot in the next few years. So I
Mm-hmm.
see this change similar to what you know the emergence of internet and mobile phone that had led
Mm-hmm.
to a digital revolution. And obviously,
Yeah.
AI is going to do something similar here or even better than that over here.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the market right now, there is a tool for everything, or there is an AI tool
Yeah.
for everything, and that is definitely going to grow more and more. And while we speak, already billions of dollars of
Yeah.
pound revenue are being generated out of it, and the competition is going to get more and more tighter. And one thing to look at it is, should we be worried?
Mm-hmm.
I would say no, because
Mm-hmm.
where I stand right now, I'm not really going to touch that output that's going to come out of AI, because
Yeah.
we know that AI as such is not tested thoroughly, and it's not proven very well that we can blindly believe what is actually coming out of AI.
Yeah.
We look at it this way. Certain companies are definitely going to try and replace the testing with AI tools, and there is no doubt in that. And we have seen that happening, started happening. It's pretty much like a hype few years ago, where test automation is going to replace the testing completely, and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of organizations went in that direction, and they realized that that's not really the right way to do it. The
Mm-hmm.
thing is, since we can't trust the output from AI completely right now, and
Mm-hmm.
we also know that LLMs and algorithms are sometimes going to cook up the answers and come up with incorrect outcome. So that
Yeah.
definitely going to be there when we look at the near future. But
Yeah.
what does that mean? This prompt engineering as a industry coming into picture, and then taking care of the better prompt in the AI tools are going to come up with the better answers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I see is, since the critical thinking from the testers are missing over there, and
Mm-hmm.
we can't trust the result from AI, at least for a period of time, there is nothing for us to be worried about it. Now
Mm-hmm.
look at the opportunities. The tools and AI, artificial intelligence related technologies, and all of this give us quite a lot of new opportunities in terms of doing our job better. So I would say it's going to give us a lot smarter option to do our job effectively and better.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have prompt engineering and all the LLMs and all the algorithms out there. You need someone to test it, right? Unless
Yeah.
and until someone take up that particular job and do that testing effectively, making sure that the prompt given is giving us the right level of response, or LLMs are behaving in the right fashion, this is not going to be sustainable in the future. So that means it's going to come up with quite a lot of new opportunity for us
Mm-hmm.
to move into that direction and take up those particular jobs and get this into the right level. And
Yeah.
none other than testers can do that better, because their
Mm-hmm.
critical thinking is going to play a lot of option to put forward the right prompt, evaluate the outcome from the prompt, make sure that we are training that
Yeah.
algorithm to do it better.
There's always
Uh,
a human required for getting that
Exactly.
done.
So,
Yeah.
so it's gonna help us to do the job far better. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, we have to work closely with that technology to make it better, to do the overall job in a better fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, rather than worrying about whether AI is gonna grab my job or eliminate me from the landscape, I would be I'll be getting ready for that, because I'll be spending quite a lot of time nowadays to understand what the technology is all about. How can we actually gear up for that particular change? Spend a
Mm-hmm.
lot of time in training yourself into that new changes. Make sure that you look based on your requirement. you look at the different tools on the market and try out some of those to find out the best one for you to use it. And if there
Yeah.
are any improvement to be done on those tools or the prompt, obviously, report it to the originator of the tool, or
Mm-hmm.
continuously try to improve that, so that in a near future, you're going to be ready for that change. You're going to be the
Mm-hmm.
one who's actually driving this forward to do this in a better fashion. So
Yeah.
more than a worry, I see it has a lot of opportunity. And collectively, the
Absolutely.
community has to go in the direction to take up that opportunity. And, this is another reason why I'm looking forward to the conference next week, because we have quite a
Mm-hmm.
few topics around AI that's going to be discussed next week. And I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that uh, my colleagues from the industry will be talking about how they experience AI, or what is their thoughts around how can we utilize this in the right fashion. And I think that that conference is going to play a, a pivotal role in terms of providing that insight to the community, and push them into a direction where use this information and train yourself to get better, so that we can coexist with AI and have a
Yeah.
better future in terms of delivering the right level of outcome to the customers in whichever project we take up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this can be a separate podcast itself where we try to explore how can people get ahead of AI instead of
Entirely.
being scared about it or nervous about it, because a lot of times it's like, sure, people do have this fear in their head that it's taking over their jobs, and
Yep.
which is why they fear to even approach it or understand what it's all about. And none of us know everything
Yeah.
about it because it's like evolving every single day. But that's an amazing insight. And yes, NSTC, like the National Software Testing Conference, will definitely answer a lot of these questions,
Yeah.
because the speaker agenda that we have, we've got people from top companies like Meta and Mastercard, and yeah, they'll be basically explaining quite a lot about it. But thank you
Yeah. I mean,
for the
alongside
invite.
that, obviously, if you look at the the wider information available on the internet, right? There are quite a
Hmm.
few leaders on the industry. They already started talking about AI, how
Yeah,
we can support AI for their testing, what tools you want to pick it up. I mean,
yeah.
it's all educational experience. You jump into that, you spend some time, read it, understand it, try it out, and then,
Mm,
maybe that's the right future for you to kind of explore it in the
yeah,
right fashion and get it better. So
yeah,
I see potentials out there.
yeah, absolutely. But thank you so much for today, Shiva. It was amazing chatting with you. I think it was a very insightful conversation for sure. And I think our audience is going to get like so much value out of this. And congratulations. And let's look forward to the NSTC next week.
Yep. Thank you very much, and looking forward to meeting you all next week and have a lot of experience taken away from that.
Amazing. Thank you, Shiva.